everybody. Thank you for tuning in, for listening, and for watching, as the case may be. It's time for Stay Tuned El Paso. Pris and Vic. She's Pris. I'm Vic.
Hello.
Pris, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Priscilla, I haven't seen you in so long.
Well, seeing me in person.
In person.
Because, of course, Facebook. We've seen each other
social media.
So much.
See you all over the place.
Yeah.
Incredibly enough. This is our episode, let's call it 000, or
Yes.
even 100, as we are testing the equipment here this afternoon for Stay Tuned El Paso 1-2. So what we've added a new element. Now we have the element of video. And here we are, broadcasting live video from the, what's the official name of the place, downtown? Downtown Spaces. Downtown Spaces. The art spaces, the building spaces here are absolutely amazing.
It's incredible.
Thank you for allowing us to be in the building. This building is huge. It's a monstrosity. There's so much mad, crazy history behind the building, with the building. It's incredible. Of course, possibly best known as Club 101's backyard.
Number 101.
Ooh, man. And how many, I'm asking producer Ace behind the scenes, how many buildings, this has been, what building was it before? It was a club, right?
Studio 69, yes.
Wet? It was Wet and Studio 69. That's right. That's right. That's where Kim Kardashian
if she doesn't know about Studio 69, she's too young for you, bro.
Yeah, she doesn't know about 101. If she knows about 101, she's too old for you. So here we are. Doing some Stay Tuned El Paso. And it's just a quick history, a quick synopsis of what Stay Tuned El Paso is. We've had this podcast. It's changed and migrated and mutated a couple of times throughout the years. But the basic basis of the podcast is and always will be about El Paso. El Paso has some great stories to tell.
Absolutely.
People in El Paso have some great stories to tell. And the way I've been selling it, Pris, is the history behind it are the people who have shaped El Paso, and now there's a new group of people who are shaping El Paso.
Well, yeah, of course. And I'm just so excited to go into all the new guests that we have, and I'm just excited to get even more knowledge about this building as well. You're going to not just educate, I'm just kidding, educate everybody else. You're going to educate me, and I'm excited to, kind of get that to my son too, and educate the younger youth of El Paso, because there's a lot of kids that really have no idea what is here in this beautiful town.
We can place ourselves up against any other city in Texas, a San Antonio, a Dallas, and people go, well, there's nothing to do in El Paso. Well, El Paso, I can't wait to get out of
Shame
El Paso.
on you.
We can place ourselves against, a Las Vegas or a Phoenix or anything else out west, including LA. But the fact of the matter is, El Paso is so unique and so diverse,
100%.
and you hear it all the time. I just don't think you realize it. And what I want to showcase, it's been my feeling from the beginning, and it still is to this day. And we're adults here, so it's the oh shit factor.
Oh shit.
Where you sit there and you go, oh shit, I didn't know that.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank
Boom.
you. Are we being censored already? Goodness gracious. Oh shit. So with that being said, with that kept in mind, we want to keep, pushing El Paso forward. Now, we may even get into some topics that are a bit risque, a little adult perhaps. Yeah, that's it. I like Ace, man. We have to punch up some of them sound effects, man. Get us some good stuff.
It is almost Halloween, too. We can say that. It's exciting.
Now, as we're recording, let me just take a step back now and tell you where we've been from the podcast previously. Before, we did not have video. We have video now. And prior to this, you and I did, how many did we do? About 10, 12?
Something like that. It was a good number.
Good number of audio podcasts. We had some amazing guests. Some of them you weren't able to be there. We had people step in and did some great jobs. And I'd like to revisit some of those guests that we've had.
Absolutely, yes.
But where it stood, I got to be honest with you. I mean, we've never really talked about what happened to the podcast and why it stopped.
I don't even. We have no solid answer, do we?
Well, I do,
Okay,
because it was the shooting. It was the shooting that happened last year.
That was exactly it. You're absolutely correct.
The mass shooting that happened here in El Paso, and after the shooting, in my mind, I just couldn't. In fact, Patrick Candelario, who, Patrick, you're going to be a guest back on the show again. Trust me, he's a great guest. I tried to bring him in because we needed some. It was a show that you weren't there for. It was a last-minute deal. I think we did it 3 days after the shooting, 4 days, when we're still trying to wrap our heads around what was going on. Mm-hmm. And we brought Patrick in to bring some, I don't want to say humor or comedy, but we needed a break from what was happening.
Something positive, yeah.
Yeah. And after that, it was fine. It was good. It just, I couldn't continue it. It just didn't make sense to me to continue.
Yeah, exactly. And then with everything after that, it was the holidays. It was so like a very sad kind of time, and then
it was just hard to get started right back up again.
And then all of a sudden, guess what happened this year?
There you go.
Shall we even mention
I think it needs to be addressed because it's going to be addressed throughout the rest of the podcast.
Don't worry, I have my mask.
She has hers on.
Don't worry.
COVID-19 hit, and I think the brunt of COVID came about late February, early March. February, you're hearing stories about this disease. You're hearing stories about things happening, things closing down. March, April, May, it all goes to shit.
Yeah, basically, perfectly, very well described.
Yeah, and worldwide too. Not just, and it's not just an El Paso thing. It's not just a country thing, a United States thing. It happened worldwide, and so many changes. And I'll never forget, we had in February, we had plans to go to Las Vegas.
I remember you did.
And we were going to go in April. And it was just going to be the wife and I who were going to go. And then Mom said, well, I want to go too. So Mom and her fiancé were going to go. And it was turning into a family thing. But you're hearing about COVID. You're hearing about, and I kept, and every
cautious, starting to.
And I remember telling my mom was saying, well, we bought tickets. We got everything ready. We had all these show plans. And my mom asking me, do you think we should go? And I said, I remember saying, there's two things that will never, ever happen. They'll never shut down Disneyland, and they'll never shut down Vegas.
And then they did.
The severity of what was happening. And I don't want to get in, I don't want to politicize. I don't want to get into the politics of what it is and what it isn't. And everybody has their own opinions on that. But the severity of what has happened to our country and our world because of COVID, honestly, how many jobs have you lost?
Like, it was 2/3 of my income. I was lucky to have started another before the pandemic, and I was able to carry myself with that. It's been incredibly difficult, but I mean, here we are.
I lost my job. I'm still furloughed as we record today. I'm still furloughed from my work, from the radio station. The things that I said will never go away. We'll always have a bar. Nobody's ever going to take away a bar. Bars are always going to be around.
Well, there's lots of restaurants now.
Well, even at that, though, when it all broke, though, Pritz, when it all broke,
I know, they shut down every single bar.
We'll always have teachers. There's always going to be teaching. Took that away.
Exactly.
Took everything away.
Things that you thought would never, ever, ever be touched got not just touched, but I mean
removed, gone, everything. So as we record now in I don't want to say post-COVID. We are still in it. It's still a COVID situation. We're still a COVID world.
But
are we getting better? Are we getting? I think we're learning in this world.
Exactly. Which by learning, we're able to move a little bit more forward, as opposed to being in the standstill that we can't, because a lot of us are drowning, not just economically, but spiritually. I think the body needs to keep going, and having us paused is the worst thing you could do, especially to someone like me. I'm like so hyper. I'm like, and
everything that you had, your hand in again.
All the hard work that of these people that had just opened a business during January, and to be shut down, not even given an opportunity. That's, I think, where.
And let's get a little personal for you. You're in a band. You have your band.
I have been struggling. I've been staying afloat. We've been doing everything, of course, by guidelines and everything, but we've been shut down several times, and I've been one of the very luckiest bands to continue to work, because there's bands that have not even been, they haven't come back since before January.
They're probably not even rehearsing. No, they haven't gotten together.
A lot of them have already announced that they'll be back 2021.
Right.
And that, for a musician, devastating. I have people that were touring, making money, and stopped.
Well, and let's flip it. If you guys know anything about me, if you've heard anything about me, if you're my friend, if you know anything about me, you know my love and passion for Las Vegas. As much as I love El Paso, I have an equal amount of passion and love for my whore city. I call Las Vegas my whore because the minute she calls me, I go running. But imagine all of those entertainers.
Oh no! I mean,
from the
casino
people
workers to the maintenance to the bartenders to the
and I'm just talking about people
the buffets.
busking on the streets that you can't. A buck here, a buck. You walk on Fremont Street and it's gone.
I know. My brother was living in Vegas when it all hit, and we couldn't believe it. He would send pictures, and we'd be like, "Whoa!"
And here in El Paso, to make it more now back on a local level, a lot of your cover bands and bar bands and people performing for you and your entertainment have other jobs as well. But the irony of it all is they are teachers. They are people working bartenders.
Things that got shut down also shut them, so that's like double whammy.
That's why. How many jobs did you lose at that time?
I lost 2/3 of my income.
Yeah.
Like, I lost my bands. I lost. I was working as Smokies for a long time. I lost Smokies, and as things slowly progress to reopen, it's just not the same anymore. It's not going to be the same. People are going to have to transition into something new, different. And I mean,
you hit the nail on the head the other day. We met here a couple of days ago, last week, whatever it was. Time means absolutely nothing anymore. I don't know what day is it.
It's Monday. Is it Saturday?
But you hit the nail on the head the other day when we were discussing. I think you just said it in passing, but I think it's absolutely true. We're going to have to wear masks from now on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Forever.
For a while, probably. I'm hoping that, I said after November 5th, we would get to decide.
Again,
that's just my prediction. But honestly, it's going to be like that for a while. Like, we're going to have to probably be doing this for a good minute. I mean.
And here really. We are with here I've got my, because they're
we can bling them out
together.
now, guys. We could look at Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I want all her little alien. I want to look like an alien, and it's perfect time.
But why weren't we? This is the conversation I had with my wife when we would go to Vegas and you'd see all the Oriental people, the Asian people, or whatever.
Because nobody wants to breathe in your boogers or your cough or your sneeze or your bad breath or your
gum.
alcohol. I bet you gum. Now people have the best mouth hygiene because
now that you know how bad you smell. But when you would go to Vegas and you'd see all the little Chinese ladies, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but they all had their mask on. Why weren't we doing that? We should have been doing that. And
because you're in Vegas, you're drunk.
I'm just Thank you. Saying. Throwing the beer bottles down. I remember telling my wife, that seems like a good. I don't want to smell the cigarette smoke. I don't want to smell.
Yeah, actually, that does
Vegas.
Make a difference. Being around that kind of smoke for certain people that have.
We should have been. We should have. And I say we, me personally, and everybody, Americans, whatever the case. Again, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but we should have been doing that. That seems like a good idea.
And we should have been washing our hands a lot more.
Yeah.
Just
so absolutely. Here's the thing, and again, I think you know a little bit about this about me because there's a lot. I have a lot of little quirks. I have a lot of little. Okay. I always wash my hands.
Me too. I've always been a humongous.
We've eaten lunch or something, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I will get up and leave just to wash my hands.
Right before you eat.
No, even during.
Oh, during?
Because my hands can't be dirty.
Oh, you have any wings or something?
Oh, man. Awful. You know what's the absolute worst for me? You know what the absolute worst for me is? Going to I'm not going to specifically mention a restaurant, but
see if you guys can guess this.
Trust me. And again, friends who know, they know. Going to a restaurant and eating pancakes and syrup, right? Uh-huh. And you're eating breakfast and you have breakfast. And then the fork gets syrup on it, and then you got to touch the fork again, and the fork is sticky with the syrup.
That's the worst.
Okay, that's when I got to get up and wash my hands.
Okay, now
it's over.
But see, since I have so many hand sanitizers and alcohol, I just need to spritz it on a napkin, and we're good. Or you can use a lime. My grandma used to always use lemon to clean her hands.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Hey,
learn that.
Nature soap.
So here we are, not in a post-COVID world, but in a learning to deal with world.
Post-COVID.
I hope it's over soon enough.
Let's put that in the universe, baby. No more COVID. Ya se va a ir. Ya vacunar. Lo que quieren hacer. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to be gone.
What is our timing, Ace? How far have we been into the show now?
8 minutes.
We're only been 15 minutes? Oh, okay. So, see, now we're getting an idea of where we're going to be. Wow. So, we got another solid.
So, are we going to talk about what I said earlier?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, I had a horrible incident earlier. Speaking about COVID and issues with Okay. Okay, so like remember I was telling you that I had some issues with poop.
You had issue? Who did?
This is my thing with all the washing of the hands and cleaning the restrooms more than ever because I love that so much because I'm always out and about. I'm always in the public. So
right.
I have to, I got to go to the restroom and I love to wash my hands in between my shops. So I had to go to the restroom at Target and my Lord, with my mask, I wanted to throw up when I walked in. I was like, oh my God, like how sick or like, what are you eating? For a huge bathroom like
Wait a minute. You mean you walked into the restroom at Target and it was bad?
I mean, yes. And I'm like, why? And I was like, dude, I have to, I'm pressed for time. I have no choice. I'm just going to go. And I shit you not, I was in and out of there, record freaking time. But I was so grateful for my mask, okay? And then, so long story short, this is a few hours later, right? I had to stop, pit stop, gas station, gas, coffee. Might as well use the restroom, wash my hands.
Real quick, if those who don't know, Pris does a personal shopping type stuff during the day.
Yes, okay. I do. I'm shopping for y'all. So anyway, I'm there. I go into the restroom, and I'm super pleased because I'm like, it's a clean gas station. It's beautiful. It's big. It's not even busy. I walk in. Holy mother of God. Again, just like punched in the face. And then I look and there's a lady, like there's a little young, she's in her teens, whatever, holding the door. And I'm like, how is she standing there with no mask, not dying? She's just standing there holding the door. I'm like, are you holding the door for this lady to
air out?
Let this come through? It was just the pungency of lingering. I was like, oh my God.
I wonder if it has to deal with what people are eating.
It has to be. Everybody's on Uber Eats and they're eating nothing but Taco Bell and a Wiener Schnitzel, and they're not drinking their probiotics. I swear to God, this is not normal. It's not right.
Everybody's just snacking at home.
No, I'm dying. I'm
nothing
sorry.
To do.
It's not right. It's not right. It was so traumatic. And then I walk out, and this is the worst part. So I walk out, and I'm buying my coffee.
Oh, this is the worst part.
They're in front of me, the whole family that took the shits, and they're just there, and they're looking at me because I was like washing my hands, going, oh my God. I was very vocal. I don't care. I don't care. I was very grossed out, and I walk out, and they're looking at me like I'm like this bitch, and I'm like, dude,
what did you eat?
Go to the doctor. ¿Cuál COVID ni que nada? COVID could not survive what I smelled. Okay, sorry, rant over. Just guys,
Feel
if
better?
you have to poop that bad and you know what you know, just try and take it home.
What's the stuff that they drop now?
Nobody there knows anything about poopery. The poopery is the best invention, but I swear to God, not enough. They need to put that on every single toilet everywhere across the world.
It happened to us one time on the road that bad, and the wife, she actually came out and threw up.
Yeah, I believe it. I felt like I needed a shot of tequila and Fireball, and that's not normal.
So that being said, as we start to get close now to wrapping up our 25 minute, because the podcasts are only going to be about 25 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, not all the shows are going to be about poops.
Promise.
Most of them, but not all of them. Yeah, but not all of them.
It's a metaphor, Vic.
Really.
We're gonna get into some deep shit, guys.
That's right. That's right. History and or otherwise. Where are we standing at about? It's about 25 minutes. 18 minutes? We're going to hit 20 here in just a little bit. All right. So we've talked about you and the band. And, of course, I want to, maybe hopefully bring in the band. We were talking about some of the guests that we could bring into. And I just want to verify that we are going to try to get in some of our local band members to come on in. Because I think El Paso has
so many, talented and hidden gems of musicians.
I know there hasn't been that much to look at in the past couple of months as we've all been on lockdown.
Well, you can archive. They have there's a bunch of them that have, great
Have you
stuff.
found anybody? Have you seen some good local stuff recently? Have you noticed?
I have. Steel Queen just came back to
really?
Speaking Around. I love them. They've got so much heart and they're so good. Who else have I been seeing coming along? 202, another one of my favorites. Those
Legends.
Legend monster musicians right there. I think it was Dave's birthday recently. I'm sad I missed that show, but I'm kind of glad I did because I probably wouldn't have made it.
You wouldn't have made it back. Bird Dogs are always on the radar for us.
Yeah, the Bird Dogs haven't had a chance to come back, and I would love next time. I hope that now cooler temperatures, things are starting to open up more. And once you have like patios that are cooler, you can have more outdoor live music. And I'm hoping that Bird Dogs is one of them.
And again, with a COVID world, a lot of bars now are trying to accommodate being open by serving food. Mm-hmm. And I know it's a huge blow and it's a huge change.
Tostadas with every beer. Just kidding.
That's what it takes. That's what it
we're
takes.
getting fat. It's all these chips.
Hence the poops. But I hope that more and more bars start opening again.
Same.
With the entertainment, and not just the bands, but the comedians in town who are doing fantastic.
The comedians, they need to come back. I swear, we need to laugh, man.
art installations, and I see so many. I had known a couple of the coffee houses in town, even Starbucks here for a while. Right before COVID hit, was trying to do a lot of art installation.
They were doing the
open mic nights.
Stuff. See, that's so important for the community, like to get their to get them going. And I think, even now with the guidelines, it's even better. Like we're gonna have to stay away from people, but that's okay.
I gotta believe that we've all been in lockdown. We've all been doing some sort of staying away from. We've all been at home. I gotta believe there's new talent coming out with your.
That's what I mean. Everyone's been in this like maybe rut, or if not, all of their emotions are oozing out onto paper, onto
even
instruments.
The stupid little apps like TikTok, where people are showing some sort of talent. Even as much as I despise those apps, but it's gonna show you some talent, and people are starting to make. Number one, money.
Out there.
There's money out there to be made. Number two,
absolutely, and everyone's like this right now. Everyone's watching. That's why we're here. Hello.
So if you know anybody who might be interested in being a guest on, if you think there's some sort of talent, you think that there's something that we're missing, contact us, contact Pris, contact myself. We'll have emails set up. I'm sure.
I'd love to see some, because there's going to be some like crazy little kid that's going to do something really insane, and I can't. It's going to be like all Chuco. I know it. I know it. And I can't wait.
The dancing cholo where he slapped.
Something with the Cowboys, something.
Slaps his shoe clean. So as we get ready for more and more, we're going to bring in more great talent. We're going to bring in more people. It's going to be a hell of a show.
Yes.
We'll always take your... I've got the hiccups is what I'm doing. I'm pausing. It sounds like I'm taking dramatic pauses. I've actually... That's how I hiccup. Thank you. Yeah, a little gliss there. We'll always take your suggestions. You can contact us. We're going to set up a Facebook page, managing page, business page, whatever you want to call it, for Stay Tuned El Paso. You can always contact us there. And if you have any sort of talent, if you have anything that you'd like to see, like to discuss on the show, again, we have the advent now of having videos so that you can watch things. We're going to have plenty of stuff that you'll be able to see. Plenty of great guests. I don't even want to get into it. But our first guest, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm not going to say who just yet, but our first guest on our official show, as we get things started, is absolute legend in El Paso. And in fact, I think if you mention El Paso, this name goes with it. You have to know. I'll give you just a little bit of a clue. The way I like to describe him. It's a him. It's a he. The way I like to describe him is he is El Paso's Rick Rubin. If you know who Rick Rubin is, he is the Rick Rubin of El Paso, as far as I'm concerned. So we look forward to having him, and we look forward to having all of our guests. And
absolutely.
I look forward to looking over across the room and seeing you.
Promise next time I'll have something probably more festive on.
Okay.
And my hair will be did, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just came from,
This is
working.
And you got to go back out. That's the good thing.
Exactly. I love it.
That's the amazing thing.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for our initial, what do you call pilot episode, if you will. That's the pilot episode of Stay Tuned El Paso, the video podcast. What are you going to call it? A video podcast, or are you going to call it a video blog?
What are we going to
podcast? Show.
Let's just say show.
And by the way, shout out to Ace Acosta, our producer extraordinaire behind the scenes. Man, I look forward to working with you, brother.
Same. So excited.
I'm going to give him some plugs and some shout outs too as well. If you've seen any kick-ass photography, sports related, and or otherwise, Mr. Ace is doing it, and he's doing a fantastic job. You can find him all over the El Paso Herald Post page, and he's got his pages all over as well. Ace, make sure somehow you tag yourself in all these things as you do all the video editing and production as well. I think we're good.
Good, yeah.
Want to thank everybody for tuning in this afternoon as we record. Are there people outside, or I hear knocking all over? Is this place haunted? Is it? I'm hearing knocking like it's nobody's business.
Knocking on the back of your door.
Love that song. Second group that we're going to have come in are some paranormal explorers, because I hear things going on in here. Thanks for tuning in. There
Those
goes
are
the glass.
Extras in your head.
Maybe. Yeah. I've been in quarantine for too long.
I think
I need to get back to work.
It's your farm that's calling you.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care, everybody.
See you soon. Thank you.
Hey, it's Stay Tuned El Paso with Pris and Vic.
I'm Pris.
I'm Vic. You know the best way to connect with us? Follow along on all of our social media websites.
And if you have a guest that you want us to interview, please, by all means, let us know.
Like and subscribe to all of our websites. We'll be checking it very, very often. Right here, Stay Tuned El Paso.